Hi friends, family, colleagues, strangers, and everybody out there in TV land. I'm coming to you from, looks like Aosta in Italy. We're about to go up into the mountain and pass the border via a mountain pass called Little St. Bernard. And that's always a fun drive. Up ahead I can see a beautiful castle on top of a mountain. Looks really pretty. I'll try and get a double shot into that. Going back home right now from having spent almost 24 hours with my daughter in Milan. I was taking her to Milan because she had to go back to work in Philadelphia. And as a matter of fact, her flight was delayed about 4 hours due to a hurricane, the remnants of a hurricane that was passing through New York. So we got to see a couple of things that we would not normally have been able to get into our little trip. One was the Duomo. I'm going to put some nice pictures. That's the Cathedral of Milan. And we also wanted to go see The Last Supper by Leonardo da Vinci, but we couldn't enter the church. But we did go around the church. I'll probably put some pictures of that. And I was there a couple of years ago, so I probably can give you the lowdown on what was going on inside and how you get in there. We had a beautiful dinner at a nice restaurant that I always try and get in while I'm there, called Rice and Milk, Riso e Latte. And they have a lot of different kinds of really original fresh pasta and some local staples like risotto, which Milan is the birth city of risotto, and that's always terrific. What else did we do? We had ice cream. We walked around last night. It was beautiful. Jana got to do a little walking around herself. She'd never been to Milan before. Yeah, is that better? I think that's a little better. So now we'll be heading up into the mountains. My favorite part of any journey. I love hairpin turns, steep roads, the edges of nowhere. It's always fun. When we went down to Milan yesterday, we took another mountain pass. I'll be showing that to you in this too. It's never dull. It's always fascinating. So I'll check you guys out later. This is called La Rosière, the ski station on the French side. And here we are in Italy. Benvenuti.
Une photo de Mont Blanc derrière.
The name of the ski resort on this side is called La Tuile. Look at the cloud behind the Mont Blanc. There's the Mont Blanc in the distance. The Mont Blanc was first climbed in 1786. It stands at an altitude of 4,808 meters, or just under 16,000 feet. It's the highest mountain in Europe. And it looks different from every direction that you look at it. Hey, Pookie. How you doing, buddy? Hi, guys. It's the second day of our little Italian trip here. We're on our way back to France, taking the scenic route as usual because everything here is scenic. And I think we're going to try and stop in a very special shop if we can find it, and B, if it's open. Last night we went to our usual favorite restaurant in the area, and we had a nice dinner. Then spent a peaceful night in a hotel near the airport. This morning, our daughter's flight was on time, so we picked her up, and now we're on the road. We're near Aosta, and on our way up to the border with France. So this is the place I was wanting to visit. A couple of years ago on TV we saw this report about this guy who makes his own prosciutto up here in the mountains, and I always wanted to come up and see it. And he's got a great cellar. I don't think we're going to be able to see that though, because they're closed. The tour is closed because of COVID. But this is this little bourg, or a little hamlet here, right at the top of the mountains, before you go over the Grand Saint Bernard Pass.
Buongiorno.
Buongiorno.
Chi è arrivato prima?
Io we're waiting, right?
Uguale.
È uguale.
Here.
Merci.
Et tu peux me donner quelque chose à boire pour le moment? Au plat? C'est bien? Oui, de bien sur la table. Blonde, blanche, brun, blonde.
Bionda
Oui, d'accord.
et bionda.
Une bière?
Blonde ou
Bionda.
blonde? D'accord. Et le menu, c'est écrit sur le tableau?
Oui.
D'accord.
Must have been their shtick. Is it like Dick's? Did you go to Dick's?
This is Bonica.
No, è un jambon che sono delle fette di cotto.
I think the last day we're going to see that. See, there's more up there. I don't know, it looks like
This is the skiff bar. Every time I come to Exopan, I end up here. They have really good food. And I really like the decor. Hey Jana, how was your spa day?
Great.
I'm happy. If you're happy, I'm happy.
Dans l'autre sens pour partir.
Sì, però giustamente sai, dicono un po' dove ci ripeti, adesso inizia quest'anno, sulla balcone, quando succede, quindi non
There are two main mountain passes into Italy from our house. The first one is the Col de Mt, which passes by the Mont Blanc. And this is the second one. It's called the Col de Mt, the Mount Cenis Pass. And this passes into Italy around on the road to Turin. There are some really nice glaciers and spectacular views up here, and the road is arguably wider and easier going on the way up anyway from France. When you're going down into Italy, it's a little more winding, but nonetheless pretty easy drive. You know, there's a lot of pastures here, and people also come up here to collect a rare flower that grows in the rocks called genepi, and the locals make a digestive liquor from it. So we're going back to Milan today. We're going to look around there a little bit. My daughter's going back to the States, and then I'll be coming back for more fun and games. See you later. Of course, this being Milan, all these models, I guess, are having their picture taken for clothing ads. So look on your local subway for this guy's photo of him jumping in the air with a fancy designer bag and very cool clothing. Who would think that this unassuming church made of brick and mortar houses one of the world's greatest masterpieces? This church, Santa Maria delle Grazie, was built at the very end of the 15th century and contains the fresco, The Last Supper by Leonardo da Vinci. The church and the works in it were commissioned by one of the biggest families in Italy of the time, the Sforza family. There are other murals contained in this dining hall, such as Crucifixion by one of Leonardo's students at the time, Giovanni Donato. You can get in by ordering tickets ahead of time and entering an anteroom for 15 minutes before you're allowed to enter the dining hall, which is dimly lit, but you're allowed to take photos if they don't contain flash. You're allowed in the dining hall for about 20 minutes, and the number of visits per day is limited.